if no one start if everyone stopped watching my videos and they're like, you suck and you're boring, then I wouldn't do it because there'd be no motivation. But as long as
Yeah.
people tune in, are excited and want to see it, and I'm good at it, well, I'm going to keep doing it because I enjoy that. How about yourself? What do you feel like? Is your goal to have 5 million followers, 2 million? Like, you just want to like get a certain level of income and retire? Because a lot of my friends are like, man, why don't you just retire now? You're doing good. Like, why are you still working?
No, like I'm definitely never gonna stop working. I don't imagine I'm ever gonna stop as long as the system is rewarding my time investment the way it is. I can't imagine I would ever decrease my input of time allocation towards the videos unless all of a sudden, there was a shadow ban or like, I don't know, something bad happened where all of a sudden there was no benefit to doing it. I can't imagine like what I'm doing is going to change other than if I somehow got up to 3 without hating my life. Maybe I would do that. I don't think that's realistic. So I'll probably try and stick with 2 and just make that as sustainable as possible. And so far, it's been like decent enough where I can like maintain the 2 companies as well as the more plates more dates stuff and not be like clinically insane yet. So it seems to be going okay. But yeah, like for me, that's it. I didn't know you were like so big into like having a big supplement company. That's interesting. For some reason, I thought it was going to be like mainly cookbooks and then like the foods that you otherwise promoted in the cookbooks that you otherwise would replicate your own versions of. But I guess that would sell under the umbrella of the supplement company too. Like, I can't imagine you're not eventually going to, like you did the fiber thing. I can't imagine you're not going to look at like sauces, wraps, like all that kind of stuff in the future.
I tried to make sauces. They wanted 300,000. I'm like, I
Wow.
can't sell 300,000 low calorie barbecue sauces. It's just too much. And I was like, and you have to
Yeah.
start looking at profit margins and things. But like, I'm trying to develop my own sweeteners. Just like there's so many things that are on the go. Like everything that I can do, I'm trying to do. But it's just been held back so much because of the cove that, and I mean, I thought by now everything would be 100% going. It's just slow. So it's frustrating, but doing the best I can with it. What would you say is the first muscles that go when you like get older? Like when you're a man, your 40s, like you're my age, and is it different if you're natural or enhanced? What do you think about that? Like what would be the first? Like is it arms, legs, abs?
Just anecdotally from what I've seen, like it's not like I'm there to be able to tell you personally, but legs I see in bodybuilders going pretty like quickly in their 40s. It seems like that's the first thing to fade. Um, yeah, like that would be the first body part I would say goes away, and then I don't know, the limbs in general just don't seem to like fare that well with age. I don't know.
I agree. It's like the arms and legs. I was going to say the extremities. And for me,
Yeah.
what's odd is my legs. I haven't noticed it, but my arms definitely I've noticed them get smaller. It's harder to keep that kind of muscle. Everything else is kind of easy. I would say my abs look not as good as when I was younger, but I think that's just from getting bigger. Like when I was in the 150s, show ready, my abs just were tighter, more obliques, just a tighter stomach. And as I got into taking PDs, I found that my whole body grew. So my abs just never looked as tight, but they're still as lean, but they don't have that same like crisp look when I'm lean.
Yeah, I think as you get older too, like visceral fat buildup and stuff that's not necessarily like things of like age in general are going to cause it to be harder to look as like dialed in everywhere too. Like certain body parts won't respond as well and maintain their size like legs, but core I think is going to be like pretty impossible to maintain like what you looked like at 25 when you're 65. Things are just gonna build up loose skin, visceral fat, stuff like that that might impair your look. But that's just wear and tear of cellular degradation, I guess, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, abs as you get older, like what 6-year-old has that great abs of like a 20-year-old where you didn't have to do a sit up and you just looked amazing just from having low body fat levels. But as you get older, it looks not as impressive. So I've definitely noticed that on myself. I don't have as great of a stomach as I did like 20, 25 years ago. And steroids wise, once I took them, my body got leaner at different rates. Like my calves in particular, who I never had those like cross-striations going up and down. My calves get like ridiculously lean when I'm in contest shape. But when I was natural, never had that. But when I took PDs, even in my off season, arguably my calves were leaner off season, then on stage when I was natural. So I had no idea why. I don't know what happens. I mean, are you aware of any reasons why that would occur? Like literally different body fat distribution from taking PEDs.
Only thing I could think of is that they grew a lot, and then how much muscle they have is changing the look of the body composition on that particular body part. That would be my only speculation. Like if your arms, like for example, if you're a guy who's shredded who hasn't started working out, you don't have very obvious vascularity on your arms as much as you do even at 15% body fat when you've gained like 40 pounds of muscle. You're gonna have way more vascularity, even though the arm itself is like fatter.
Yeah.
That
There's a bigger
so
circumference, a bigger muscle. You can see the fibers that much more. Unfortunately, my calves didn't grow that much. So that unfortunately isn't the case. They're still not big, but they do get lean, but I haven't been able to put that size on. But like I'll compare myself to like a Johnny Shreve, who's every muscle he has is bigger than mine. Like he's 225 pounds at 5'7", like, 6 weeks out, but he doesn't have that shredded calf look. But even with higher pinched body fat, he looks really lean because the muscles are popping through the skin. Like when you have 21-inch arms, even though there's that certain layer of fat, you see the muscle right through it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like some people that's just like, I think people say like you have stubborn fat, but it's like I don't know.
Stubborn
I think
skin sometimes.
yeah.
You know,
Like some people just their back, even though they're like diced everywhere, they'll turn around and it's like, huh, you like didn't get in shape, and it's like I don't know. Maybe it's just your skin is like bad for
thicker
bodybuilding.
skin, literally. Or how
Yeah.
saran wrapped, how tight is it? My skin is super loose and super like just you can just stretch, you know what I mean? Like it can be just pulled easily. But other
Yeah.
people, I'll try to test their body fat. I can't grab it. Like my tricep, I can pinch it and roll it around. Other people, I'm like, it almost like they're flexing and I'm like trying to do this. And I'm like, relax your arm, and they're relaxed and I can't get the pinch. So that it's almost shrink wrapped over the muscle. Then it pops through and you can see those cross striations versus somebody like me, like my stomach skin. It's like, you see, like, look at this. It's like, you know what I mean? Like,
Wow,
what am I going to do with that? So when you have loose skin like that, it's not saran wrap shrinked over the muscles. It's hard to see those cross striations. So my body fat is quite low, but because my loose skin, it's kind of like you don't see it as much now that I'm like 45 years of age.
Could you do that in your 20s? Like grab your skin like that? And, like
Not as much. It's gotten looser, and it's not like I bulked, and it's not like I was 250 pounds. I've never been like really overweight. I just had kind of like stretchy skin to start with, even when I was younger. But it's certainly stretchier now that I've gotten older than when I was younger. And if I do have a little bit more fat, it's not as stretchy because the fat underneath is kind of filling that out. Like when I was in my like the heaviest I ever was just over 230. When I was that big, the skin was certainly tighter around.